I love Elden Ring, and going off the 12 million copies sold within 2 weeks, and the 20 million sold within 1 year, a lot of you did as well. Not to mention the stable 300,000 daily players that still log in every single day to this day. And from this you'd be under the impression that Elden Ring was in a really healthy state. Sadly though, this really isn't the case. You see, in past games, From Software's community is what kept it alive. For example, the PvP community in Dark Souls 3 kept it alive a long time after its discontinuement, years after even, and still to this day there is a Dark Souls 3 PvP community, which is insane considering Dark Souls 3 released in 2016. The same could also be said for Dark Souls 2. Are you noticing a pattern? The PvP is what keeps From Software's games alive after years of discontinuement and no updates on future content. The PvP is what keeps it alive. And without that, it simply dies. The same, sadly, is not the case for Elden Ring. You see, at Elden Ring's launch, PvP suffered a lot. It was plagued by overpowered sorcery, overpowered weapons, overpowered poise. Everything you could fathom that could go wrong, did go wrong. And once they had finally fixed PvP and it was in an enjoyable state, the little PvP community that had grown shrunk enormously, leaving behind only a husk of what it could have been had it been balanced and attuned properly. A fix to this, at least in my eyes, could have been getting some of the top PvP creators on YouTube and Twitch to come confidentially try out Elden Ring's PvP, give their opinions, what's balanced, what's not, and from that tweak the game until it's in an enjoyable state. That, is my opinion, is what they should have done. Obviously that didn't happen, but if for some reason From Software does see this video, perhaps they can take that into consideration. This is a main reason why I am making this video. It might seem like I'm just here to slag off From Software, but in reality, I love From Software, I love everything they do, but it's undeniable that there are some problems with Elden Ring, and I just want that to be fixed. As you may have seen if you've watched any of my videos, I love Elden Ring. I mean, for example, there's at least 40 videos on the lore itself of Elden Ring that I have made over the last year. If that isn't evidence enough, I don't know what is. I just want Elden Ring to re-reach those heights once more. Obviously, it reached unparalleled heights, getting Game of the Year, whatnot, but the longevity of the game really hasn't reached the heights I'd hoped for, which is really sad. But the PvP isn't all that's contributing to this. There's also content. Of course, Elden Ring is a single player game. Single player games really don't get updates, but this is From Software, you know, we get DLCs quite soon after, normally, and from DLCs come content and it revives the community. Hell, even the most snippet of news revives the community. Take you back to when Shadow of the Erdtree got announced. Can you remember the amount of content and lore that suddenly sprouted out overnight for Elden Ring? This was because the Elden Ring DLC had got people hyped up and they wanted to make more videos. But because there's been such a long wait, people have become less creative about their uploads, less motivated to even think of these creative ideas due to the lack of inspiration. And while information being fed their way, they lose interest in making From Software content, which is understandable. You can only make so much Elden Ring content before you run out. And unfortunately, that is Elden Ring's sad truth. Back at launch, there was a lot of Elden Ring lore videos, a lot of Elden Ring videos just in general. That was because there was so much to talk about back then. There was so much to discuss, so many ideas to be thrown around. But eventually, that will dry up, and for so many content creators it really has, which is really sad to see. Of course you can still make videos on Elden Ring, it just takes longer to find the ideas, it takes longer to find a video that's worth making instead of just doing one that's not going to mean anything to anyone and that everyone's already heard 10 times. And that leads to less engagement for the community, less people excited to log into Elden Ring every single day and play. Of course, I still really enjoy making Elden Ring content. I'll continue to make it, even if Elden Ring suddenly dies and gets the Game of Thrones treatment, which it's not going to, but I'm just giving an example. I have these video etiquettes that I try to use for every single video. 1. Make something that is genuinely going to be enjoyable to the people that tune in every single week. 2. Don't make something that people have already heard tens upon tens upon tens of times. And 3. Always base your videos off your own ideas. The reason I say this is because if you don't, people have most likely already seen this video before, and that leads to people having less fun with the video. It also robs you of that sense of wonder and creativity that comes with crafting your own ideas and videos. Taking a lot of inspiration is a very, very slippery slope. The same could be seen in writing. Subconsciously, even in my own writing, I don't think I've talked about this before on the channel, but I adore writing. I love it so much. I've seen it in my own writing. I might have swallowed up a big piece of media, a big book, a big piece of art, whatever, and that might have given me so much inspiration that then transfers itself into my writing. And that's not really good, because obviously little bits of inspiration, that's okay, but big bits just take that sense of wonder and mystique because people have already seen it before. I don't think I'm alone in this etiquette for creating videos, and this, along with the lack of content to make videos on and the lack of ease for creating content, not to mention the state of PvP and how much content that normally produces, this all resulted in a lack of Elden Ring content and a lack of interest to make Elden Ring content. I'm going to give you all a little challenge. Go on to any Elden Ring creator, any From Software creator, and look at the variety of uploads and upload times from March 2022 compared to now in September 2023. I'm very curious to see what you all find out. Please let me know down in the comments. Just to say, there are still people that do upload Elden Ring regularly. I'm not saying that this is everyone, I'm just giving an example for the bigger creators, if that makes sense. Of course there's still big creators that do make Elden Ring, but hopefully you get what I mean. And this isn't just for lore videos either. Challenge videos. There is only so many challenges you can do. Like, I'm sure you can remember the first year for Elden Ring, the amount of challenges there were. Playing Elden Ring as Kratos, playing Elden Ring as a Super Saiyan, I don't even bloody know. All sorts of things, whatever you could imagine. That creativity was at its peak whenever there's new content. And the fact of the matter is, it's been so long since any sort of news on Elden Ring that that creativity has kind of died for most of the community. I know someone in the comments is probably going to bring up Armored Core 6, and you're well in your right to do that. I completely understand your point of view. I love Armored Core 6 and I do want focus to be on Armored Core 6, but the fact of the matter is, it's been so long since any proper content for Elden Ring, or at least even a snippet of information, that we're really starting to see the effects. I think if something isn't done soon enough about this, there's going to be consequences to Elden Ring. People are just going to move on and find something else instead of waiting around for so long. I know from this point someone else is probably going to mention that how come Elden Ring survived so long waiting for any news for that? And to answer that, I think you're probably forgetting the amount of channels and content that were covering Elden Ring constantly. A good example being Elden Ring News, who made a video every single day for over 600 days covering if there's any news for Elden Ring in the day. This brought together the community, Not to mention all the memes, Don't Go Hollow, all the other channels and videos as well. It was a massive community effort, and it's what led to a lot of the hype and the eventual massive commercial success that was Elden Ring. There's been none of that with Elden Ring's DLC, and that's really sad. Honestly, thinking about it now, I'm just hoping that Elden Ring news will come back just for the DLC, because that was a pleasure to watch every single day. Now that we've talked about the issues, it's now time to talk about how From Software could fix this. Because it's not too late yet, but it will be soon. I think the best course of action would be regularly have some kind of inspiration, because people just lose their spark when there's no information and no hope. Just the slightest slither of hope would keep this resilient community alive, as it did with Elden Ring for years and years. It's as simple as that. Little bits of snippets. They could do little teaser images like they did with Shadow of the Erdtree. I mean, I had an idea. I'd love to see more high definition pictures of those tombstones, the ghostly ones from the Shadow of the Erdtree teaser. What if they did a close-up of that and left a secret message on the tombstone that we had to decipher as a community? That would be so cool. I'm not asking for something massive, but just something, you know what I mean, for the community. To keep this alive for the game that I truly enjoy beyond anything. Sadly everyone, that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. In the pinned comment will be the Discord channel link, as well as a contact email if for whatever reason you need to contact me. As well as the link to the music, which is by the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Rowe. Honestly, that dude's music is fucking incredible. I use it in a lot of my videos. I really recommend going to check out his stuff. He has some amazing stuff, and he's been consistently uploading for like literally 7-8 years. Lastly, if you do see this From Software, we all love your games. We just need a bit of content, you know what I mean? Just a little teaser. That'd invigorate the community so much. Obviously, I don't know what will happen. I'm not a bloody time traveller, but I'm pretty sure it won't be good. Anyway, I won't hold your ears hostage any longer. May you find your worth in the waking world. Goodbye everyone.